Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Kissy. So today I felt like bringing you into my world a little bit more and inviting you to join me in the process of preparing for my readings. I normally just go into the readings, but for whatever reason, I'm inclined to share with you the elements that are participating in creating the state of being that I use or that I connect with to do my readings. So, and I don't always do it, but when I'm called to, okay? Sometimes certain energies are being called in for protection. Sometimes energies are being called in to create I guess you could say like a sound barrier so you can really quiet the space. So that starts off with the third eye chakra meditative music that I have in the background. It's 963 hertz. So it's from Meditative Mind, I think they're called. It helps to heal the third eye. It helps to open it gently without affecting, bombarding you with too much. It calms the mind, basically. The I have here the selenite crystal, and the selenite crystal, it's always been a energy purifier. Okay. And it's like also a protector. It protects your energy. So when you use it, it's like the healing light, healing white light. Or maybe you could just envision that as you use it. It's good if you sit with it under with I used to work at a metaphysical shop, and she had a beautiful throne, the owner, and she would do meditations in it was a beautiful throne and with a beautiful selenite crystal, but it was enormous. And people would sit on the throne and then put their feet on the crystal, and that would create kind of like a protective energy in order to be able to receive the messages. Um, Also, the rose quartz. This was like, I believe one of my, not this particular one, but this was definitely the first crystal I was ever inclined to to get. And it's very Venus. It's a love crystal. It's pink, it's pretty. So when you think about it, it's all about love and feeling, pretty, feeling loving, feeling, because it's not just romantic love and it's not sexualized love. In essence, it's more of a pure uh, a clean love that comes with a lot of openness. It comes with a lot of childlike uh, joy. That joy is more like it can come across as excitement at some point, but it's just like a lightness of heart, a lightness of being, just enjoying the moment, being in the company or in the pleasure of good connections, good vibrations, good vibrations. The Beach Boys. That song came out a couple of days ago. Good vibrations, and it came out in the movie Vanilla Sky. For anyone that hasn't seen it, Vanilla Sky is with Tom Cruise, Penelope Cruz, and Cameron Diaz. Those names could be significant, give or take, however. But anyway, Vanilla Sky, vanilla could be very significant at this time in terms of the scent or the flavor. I recently used it to make my dessert that I made the other night. And I love the smell of vanilla, but it really does work well with the rose quartz. The name rose could also be significant. Um, but back to the movie, Vanilla Sky. The song Good Vibrations, when it comes out in the movie, it's kind of creepy. it gives a sense of it's like an anxious feeling because he's getting the answers of after a long space and time where he was very conflicted, very confused about what was real and what wasn't. It's a great movie, but I'll be honest, the first time I went to the theater to watch that movie, I was there with my best friend, and we looked at each other like, I mean, after the movie was over, we just sat there and just stared into the screen like what? Because it was mind bending. It was, I mean, it took you out of patternistic thinking. It just like it takes you out of your own reality and makes you question how you've been looking at things. So I love that movie, and it did take me, I'm not gonna lie, several times. But how old was I? I was young. I was in my early 20s. So back then it was like, I loved that it was a mind-bending movie, but I was pissed off. I left the theater pissed off. I was like, what just happened here? Like, I can't even describe it because it made me feel like I was forced to really think, to think because I was there with the character. Like, what the fuck is going on here? What? What? And then you can't put the pieces together, and then you get to the ending of the movie, and it's like you could see him unfolding and realizing what's like the memories coming back, or like, okay, I can organize. This is where things left off. In this reality, this is where the dream began, and now I get to go back into the dream and I get to choose. And this time, if I want to, I get to remember. It was a technical glitch. Oh my God. I wasn't even intending to go so deep into that movie. I was talking about this crystal. So, but do you see the correlation maybe? Good vibrations. That movie, okay, it's like he was split into two realities, and where the love, that the dream love that was created from fantasy, fiction, things of his upbringing, everything, that fantasy was not the real love. It was a dream love. In the reality, his world changed after a very negative experience with a toxic feminine. But when he finally comes to grips as to what happened after, like where did the split occur and where did things change, and now that he can see those two perspectives and he's got clarity on, oh, okay, I'm not crazy. Something happened here, and it was beyond his control. It was the environment that his body was in. The dream became a nightmare at some point. So when he calls for tech support, I'm sorry if I'm giving away the movie. Maybe I should have put a warning. Uh, that I'm gonna give it away in some ways. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so he calls for tech support, and when he finally realizes he wants to wake up from the nightmare. Okay, I want out. I want out. It's like he's ready to accept where he's at now, and where he's at now, the the effects of the trauma or the effects of the that negative event that took place are still here in the moment, in the present, but he no longer has to escape. He no longer has to escape into a false reality, a fake dream world, to live out a fantasy only to realize nothing really changes. So when he decides he's ready to wake up, it's the future, way ahead. And that dream girl did exist. He did meet her in reality. Oh, God, I love that movie so much. He met that dream girl in his reality, but it was right before that negative event took place. And now I'm feeling it in my solar plexus. It's like a severe, uh, like a severe sadness. And I don't even know if sadness is the right word for it because it's convoluted with anger. It's bitter and I guess the word is resentment. And that was I think that was the initial feeling of his realization was like she existed. I could have had her, but I ruined it because he was in such a toxic space. He allowed his toxicity to take him to a dark place. And that storyline never got to play out. That what could have been didn't didn't play out other than in his false narrative dream state, uh cryo state. I think that's what they call it. Because he was basically put in like a chamber pod, frozen. I'm giving away the movie. I know, but I have to. It's so damn good. He gets put in that cryo chamber thingy. He had forgotten that experience. He forgot that he forgot how he got introduced to that program to be frozen in time, to forget his pain, to go into a false dream world where he can choose exactly how he wants it to play out. It's like they give him levels of dreams. Okay, you can have this. The elite package will provide you with, all these experiences. And then the whatever package will provide you with this. And he gets to choose based on the things that the music he loved, the movies he watched, the experiences he had with his parents. All those things were enveloped in that dream state. In some ways, they played out in different ways. It's like his story when he went to sleep. He woke up in that reality, but it was a false reality, and he had forgotten that he created that false reality. And it started off like a beautiful dream that turned into a nightmare. And then when he finally wakes up and comes to the realization, holy shit, all of this occurred. That was reality. This was that false dream. And then this is a part I forgot. The part of the connection was where when he was in such pain, what led him to the discovery of the false illusional world that was better than facing the reality at the moment as it was. Okie dokie. And so now he's way into the future. He realizes even if I even if I I'm coming back to a world that's no longer the same world. Those people are long gone. You know what I mean? He could now be like the grandfather, great grandfather, if he would have married that woman. And by the way, her name was Sophia. How fitting. Sophia, divine goddess energy, always chasing the divine goddess energy. But when you have it, it's like the reality. It's like you have to experience it and lose it to appreciate it when you see it again. And I think that's what the movie left off, kind of like that was it. You don't get to see where he goes next because there's advanced technology that could have fixed anything that was physically wrong with him. It can be improved through technologies now. So in the movie, he had to wear a mask because his face, half of his face was ruined due to the toxic event that he experienced. And so now he can restructure. his face. He can fix whatever needs to be fixed. And therefore, because he knows that, and knowing what he now knows, he can go into this world with that whole new perspective, appreciating the things that are beautiful in life and letting go of his insecurities, or choose to be led by his ego needs and not trust his intuition and fall for the bait again and then get lured into something that destroys him. Why did I go into all that? I don't know. Because what I was going to talk about before I even got into, okay, Crystal, thank you so much for all that information. Maybe I should go touch that guy. Should I? Let's just do that while I talk about what's going on here. Okay. Oh, Lord. All right. So, I mentioned the third eye chakra. So now, the first thing that came through when I was about to do the meditation, this song came into my mind, and it's called Yesterday by Luis Miguel, not from the Beatles guy, John Lennon, not from him. This, damn it, I do, okay, one moment. I have the translation because I wanted to share it. I don't feel like singing it. Do you that service? All right, so here are the lyrics. Today in a dream I found you. I kissed you like a crazy man, and we released our love. Today, far from reality, I knew eternity in a hug of yours. How it hurts me to know that this is something that I only dreamed. We tear ourselves with pleasure. A promise was left. We swore each other allegiance without witnesses. We committed to the soul. So that was the first thing, and that's what I was going to base my reading on. Then, as I started organizing my space, I'm like, why am I not sharing this with the collective? I think it's good information for anyone that's just starting their journey or anyone that's looking to expand on their spiritual journey. However it is, uh, the spiritual journey is very personal. So you don't want to be told a plan to follow, but you want to at least understand how others tune into who they are, how they connect the dots for themselves. And yes, you can learn from them if it's something that resonates with you. You know, like not everybody hears messages. Not everybody sees the images. Not everybody feels the feelings. Not everybody um, knows the environment energy. Not everybody tunes into their intuition, their senses, their ability to quiet down and be in the stillness in order to feel their way through life in some ways. So, anyway, so that song came out, and I feel like the masculine, a lot of the energies we were just talking about, like the story from Vanilla Sky, that feeling of I found you in a dream, and it's like now putting that story kind not to the side, I guess you could say parallel to this song. In this song, the possibility it has nothing to do with a lost possibility. It's just a sorrow that it was only in a dream and not in reality. It doesn't mean that the reality is not available. The event, the it has like he's lamenting that it wasn't actual because the dream was so real and felt so good that he's like, wow. He realized the connection in the dream state before he even has it in real life. So, all right. So after the song came out, something interesting occurred. What is interesting is that the name Hasiel came through. And again, I don't speak a lot about my personal things or experiences or people in my life and all those things. Maybe I do. Maybe I talk more about them than I think, but it doesn't matter. I find that this is important to share. This was a friend of mine from like elementary school, middle school, and we shared the same surname, the same last name. So we were always kind of seated together. And he was an Aquarius. He was like a class clown. And we were really good friends, like genuine good friends. And so this is elementary and all middle school. Like, so one year, I think it was eighth grade, he basically lets me know that he has a crush on me. But I take it like a joke because we're such good friends. So nothing kind of develops out of it. The following year in ninth grade, we're working on a play in the theater. So we're spending a lot of time in production, not really having our normal schedule with classes. And so we got a chance to kind of bond outside of regular school. And so I started now to develop feelings for him. And I started contemplating, wow, I think I really like him. But unlike him, where he kind of just put it out there and then let it go, I basically acknowledged it to myself and just took it upon myself that at the perfect moment of one on one, I was going to kiss him. And that was it. And I did. I just kissed him. And in doing that, his eyes were like shocked. And he was like, what just happened here? And it was not like a freaking, it wasn't, crazy. It was just a small, kiss. But it was still a kiss nonetheless. It was me saying, I like you. Like, I like you too now. It took me a freaking whole year to get to that point. But by that point, timing is everything, right? He's already involved with the girl. And so now it's awkward, not just for me, but for him. So our friendship kind of dwindled. He stayed on his side of the court, I stayed on mine, and it was like, okay, this didn't happen. It is what it is. Now, interestingly, his name Hasiel means God sees, God's vision, or God's refuge. And there's a reason I bring that up. And there's a reason I'm even bringing him up. And normally I don't share stories like this because the how personal they are, but I feel like this is necessary. Maybe it benefits someone. Maybe it resonates with someone's experience. But so that was ninth grade. And so off we go to high school. We go to different high schools. 10th grade goes by, 11th grade goes by, senior year. I hadn't seen or heard of him. Maybe I heard of him in passing. Oh yeah, he's hanging out with this group of people. Oh yeah. So basically he was kind of like turning towards negative energies. And um I was taking some classes at night, and on a break, I was outside standing by my car in the parking lot, sort of like it wasn't even a parking lot, it was just right in front of the school, the high school. And I was just there, just taking my break, and all of a sudden this guy passes me by, and it was him. And he says, "Hey, Kissy," and I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "It's Hasiel." But he's different, obviously. He's a man now. He's grown, and he ended up having like gold teeth. Like you could tell he was thugged out in some ways. I just, just very like you could tell he wasn't the same innocent little child out because as a child his family was very religious. I think they were Pentecostal, I think. So they didn't celebrate like birthdays or Christmas or anything like that. And his personality just wasn't about that religion. And not to say that he did anything. He was just a really good-hearted kid. And so he just didn't look the part. It looked like he was playing a role, like that role when that he was growing into didn't seem fitting for who his upbringing was, like a stark difference. But he said to me, "Oh, I have a surprise for you." And I'm like, I'm thinking, how do you have a surprise for me? We just bumped into each other. Like we haven't seen each other forever, and suddenly you're at my school. And he was there visiting some friends. And I was like, I was just there outside for the break. And so I was about to leave. I was like, I gotta go. And he goes, wait, I have a surprise for you. I was like, okay. He's like, close your eyes. And I'm very trusting. I probably should have been like, why should I be closing I don't trust you. I don't know you. But of course I did. I closed my eyes and he kissed me. And so now I'm looking awkward. Now I'm like my eyes are wide open, like, what? What are you doing? Like, what is and he's looking at me and he's smiling with the same kind of awkwardness. He's like, I like it took him all those years, like he just had an idea that he liked me and let me know. So it didn't matter to him the first time when he said it that he liked me. It was just like, oh well. But I kind of, it stayed with me. It stayed on my conscience, like, damn, he likes me. Should I, shouldn't I? Should I, shouldn't I? He's my friend. Do I like him like that? Do I like him like that? So it took me a whole year to realize I do like him like that. I very much do like him like that. And then I go, boom, and I go so boldly to kiss him. And now it's awkward because he has his girlfriend. So now it takes him from that point thinking, I have to be loyal, following all his rules that he had to follow. And doing that, it took him however many years it took him to have that kind of like experience with me where, boom, just so synchronistically to bump into each other. He took his opportunity. But again, timing is everything. And so it was awkward. We didn't really keep in touch. And it wasn't a negative awkward. It was kind of like we like looked at each other like, this is crazy. Like, stop it. Don't even go there. All right. Like, let it go. And we just laughed it off and off he went. So, and I just had to shoo away a fly. As I said, off he went because I have my balcony door open. I'm wondering if I should close it, but I like the cool breeze. I'll leave it open. It's just one fly. I know a lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed the fly. I guess I'll die. Okay, that's a kid's song. I learned it when I was in school, and then I taught it to my kids. It's kind of cute. But anyways, it teaches about the hierarchy of animals and how. Anyway, okay. Back to the Hasiel story. So we let it go, right? I went back to class and he went about his life, about his business. I don't recall seeing him again. I don't recall hearing from him again until through FaceTime, I get this notice comes across my feed because I had started to get in touch with some friends from high school, and it came across my feed, and this was around 2016 or 2017, or maybe no, maybe about 2015, 2014, 15, somewhere around there. Okay, I get the news that he passed away. It was all over the news. No, first of all, it was all over the news that he was missing. They talk about his whereabouts, last unknown whereabouts or whatever, hanging out with some friends at a hotel, and apparently something went down. He goes missing. I guess it turned out it was foul play. And it's so sad because me being friends with him the whole time, he had a sibling, a little sister, and I had a little brother, and they were in the same class, and they were good friends. And at some point, they found each other in high school, and I think they dated briefly, but it didn't work out either for religious. As far as they're concerned, I think it was religious reasons for them because they were actually considering a real relationship, I think. Anyways, I don't know if that's even relevant. However, I found out that he had passed away. And it kind of it hits you like a ton of bricks because even though when you know someone in childhood, it's like they're part of your core essence. So it's like, God, I grew up with you. Like I saw you every day for so many years. You're part of my you're part of my soul group, I guess you could say. And so, and then having had those, little special moments early in my development, I guess, it was just so cute. So it's a core memory, maybe that's what we would call it, right? Or core experience of part of our development. So hearing about his passing, for whatever reason, it was so much later in life. I mean, technically, right? I don't even know, but I was already in my 30s or whatever it was. So hearing of it, it was just sad, like it was sad that because the life you're continuing to exist and live and enjoy, but you realize that this person's potential was cut short because of bad choices. And maybe not bad choices, but just the choices that they made that led them to places that they didn't have to be in. And so when you care about someone just from the heart, like when you care about them, it doesn't matter where you're at with them in life. It doesn't matter. Their life matters to you. And a lot of us, we care a lot. Sorry. Like I truly loved him as a soul, as a person. You know what I mean? He made me laugh so much. So my memories of him are always like so funny. It's so fun. He's so sweet and so tender, so gentle, so pure. Okay, it was pure. He was a pure heart. just a sweetheart. And it's a shame. He left a child behind, I believe, and his girlfriend. So I'm very, I apologize if I'm offending anyone by sharing this story. I don't know, but if it's offensive, and I hope it doesn't get across his family, I don't want them to feel offended because I don't even think their beliefs are even aligned with what I do. And bringing him up today, he just came across my mind, you know what I mean? And suddenly I felt um, this sadness about him. And it made me just want to look up, like, wow, what an interesting, let me just look up what his name means. Like, it never dawned on me to look up his name. But, and again, I think the song Ayer, I used to listen to this song a lot at the time that I was crushing on him. And I thought it was just like a sweet memory. So, oh my God, I don't even know if I want to post this video. So pathetic. Okay, I think I'm good. I'm good. Why did I touch this? Do you see what I mean? I told you it purifies, right? I told you it cleans energies, it releases energies, it protects your energies too, because maybe, for whatever reason, you have to do the whole process of mourning a loss, okay? And and you would wonder, like, wow, you're mourning a loss of someone you barely really knew. Like, yeah, you went to school with this kid, but it's not like you guys were family. You didn't live nearby. We never really hung out after school, before school. We only hung out at school, and maybe like a few birthday parties that the parents actually allowed him to go to because they were school functions or whatever. So they were like kind of lenient in some ways, I guess, with him. But I mentioned he was an Aquarius, right? So I don't know why. Maybe that's very significant. Doesn't Aquarius is Pluto is very much in your energy right now. So transforming. And maybe this is part of that transformation. Just releasing grief, loss. This is all right, let me go. Let me do this. We're gonna go ahead and do this because I want to get a bigger picture of since all the since the old chapter has been kind of like we can set it down. It's literally like putting down a book and say, okay, we're done reading this book now. We're moving on and we're going to start reading this book and we're going to start looking at these new experiences. It's like the old experiences, like that's it. Those stories are done. Like we don't want to keep rehashing. or keep experiencing the old world, the old life, the old ways, the old things that we were doing or that we experienced or that we were identified with or that we succumbed to, whatever, old anything. So it's like everything new, everything new. And that doesn't mean you don't interact with people that are in your life, people that you love, that you love, that people that you're attached to. You still do that, but you do that in new ways. You're perceiving it in new ways. You're experiencing it in new ways. You're giving it new life. You're giving it new um, possibilities to grow into something new, something beautiful. It's kind of like when your parents get divorced. Depending on, I guess, what stage in life you're at, it'll affect you differently in your perception of marriage, right? So maybe it doesn't have such a hard effect on you, or maybe it does if it happens very young, depending on how impressionable you were versus how non-impressionable you were. But then it could happen during your formative years when you're starting to date, and maybe that just like kind of shatters your whole way of thinking and it changes or shifts how you operate. And your whole dating life is shifted just because of something you saw in your parents. Otherwise, it could happen when you're older. Imagine going your whole life thinking perfect parents and then realizing, oh no, it was never real. It was a lie our whole life. So it's like all stages where your parents' relationship has an effect on your how you formulate your partnerships. And so you never really know how it affects you without the experiences, or without at least a dialogue, or at least realizing that there is a conversation to be had about those things. Like my kids had to experience their parents divorcing when they were young, 3 and 5. And it didn't affect them the same way, it affected them differently. And it had more to do with how it was handled between us, right? And it's because if we're doing our best to make sure that they are understanding what they're experiencing, if we're doing our best to make sure that they are feeling that nothing about their world has fallen apart, that their world has just expanded. Like, you hear about these conversations. It's nothing new, but for some reason, that has a lot to do with people's ways of having relationships, the relationships that their parents had or didn't have, the dynamics between not just their parents, but your own dynamic with each parent through the lens of each parent, and then through your own lens. It's it's a lot to absorb. It's a lot to realize that it does have an effect on how you see yourself, on how you date, on how you approach dating, on how you express love, on how you share love, how you receive love. So God sees, God's vision, God's refuge is in love. So what did come out, I'm sorry I keep doing this, but Don't Rush Me by Taylor Dane also came out. So we might have, I'm just laying them out however they come out. Okay, I don't have a preference. I just want all the houses to have at least, look at this. My son was playing with it and he's like, look, Mom, what do you see? And I'm like, I see a woman holding a sword. And he's like, no, she got stabbed. I'm like, oh God, I don't want to know. Don't tell me these stories, child. Okay. So we'll get to this in a second. The um, don't rush me. I've made that mistake before. That's Taylor Dane. The name Taylor Dane could be significant, or Dane or Taylor, however you see it. Um, I made a mistake before. Don't rush me. This love could be so much more. It's worth waiting for. I think something like that. Don't rush me. This love could be so much more. It's worth waiting for. Okay, so I don't have to tell you this is your person, this is you. I don't have to tell you these are people around you that you are connected to. You put yourself wherever, whatever I've expressed, however it resonates with you, please allow it to. It either triggers a truth in you that is real or it doesn't, and that's okay. I'm not here to influence your perception other other than to align as I align to my truth, as I align to my higher self. Hopefully it resonates with you. That's all I can ask for, right? Okay, so that's everything with my notes. Alrighty. So my resistance is weakening, weakening every time we touch. 'Cause baby, you've got everything, I can't talk right now, that I've been dreaming of. Okay. Oh my God. You've got everything that somebody's been dreaming of. My resistance is weakening, weakening every time we touch. 'Cause baby, you've got everything, everything that I've been dreaming of. Okay, I can't do it. Why am I so emotional? Oh, because it's every time the moon gets in the water signs. I know, I know, and it's probably long been in Sagittarius by now. I'm still feeling the effects of Scorpio. We got a superstar. I just heard superstar, like the show, the SNL chick that does Superstar. She's like really funny, very dorky. She wanted to be like a superstar. Maybe you would feel dorky wanting to be a superstar. Superstar. Chandler from Friends. Chandler is super, super uh, sarcastic. It's giving me Gemini vibes. This could be a friend of yours. You could be dealing with someone that's really sarcastic, but also really wants he really wants to be loved. He really wants a good relationship. He's just maybe not that good about going about it or something like that. Maybe you're helping a friend that's trying to date. Okay. Something to remember. I'm gonna get into this. I don't know, but I was inclined to get these cards, okay? Something to remember. Oh, Lord. My favorite couple of the show, Phoebe and Cole from Charmed. So, Phoebe's a witch. She has clairvoyant energies, so she sees the future. And Cole, when she's going to school, she's in college studying psychology. She bumps into Cole, and he's an attorney, and he's sexy as hell. and he's charming, and she just melts immediately for this man. Like, like she is like melting. This man is, he's just very masculine. He's very magnetic. So it starts off very innocent, very sweet, very pure, and then you realize he has ulterior motives. He's a demon. He's watching her. He's monitoring her. He's got, he's like a witch hunter or something like that. And she's a charmed one. She can't, like, she's fighting the evils of the world, and he's part of the evils of the world and needs to make sure she can't do what she does because they're destroying, or she's destroying, the darkness. She's saving witches, she's destroying demons. So he's sent to take her out. And the way that he's going to take her out is by romancing her. So that starts this whole thing. I mean, she's genuinely in love with him and he's genuinely falling for her. And he is sincerely losing his mind, trying to figure out how am I supposed to kill this woman? Every time I try, my heart melts for her. Every time I try to take her out, I'm I can't seem to do it. She's changing me. She's turning me good. Oh my God, how dare she? So he hates himself. But he has to play the role that he's still as evil as he is. And then, even more so when she finds out that he's a demon and she actually protects him from her own sisters. She doesn't even want her sisters to know he's evil because she knows exactly what they'll do. They'll destroy him. And it's like, it's forbidden, right? So she helps him escape a few times. She helps him get through things. And eventually, he concocts a plan to get rid of the source of evil, of all evil. And then he becomes good. He becomes really good until he's his evil is taken over once again by something more powerful than him at a vulnerable space when he was lost. So he has to go through a certain kind of hell. And then he tries to get back with Phoebe, but by the time he tries to get back with Phoebe, she's already done being betrayed by him because he was weak, he was vulnerable, and his vulnerability could have destroyed them all. So she had to let him go. But it destroyed her having to do that because she really did love him. She really was passionate about him. She really would have done anything to protect and love him. So some of you may have been going through a similar battle in your love life with your person, realizing that this person is innately uh, vulnerable to evil. And as much as they want to be good, and as much as they want to be better, and as much as they want to do well, it's it's realistically they can't do better. They really can't. So you're being asked to rest. Be careful of having a suspicious mind, or somebody might have a suspicious mind about you. This is being caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. I feel like you don't want, maybe you don't want to deal with having a suspicious mind if you're dealing with this cold character. Maybe that's why you're being asked to remember this character. Might have felt delicious, might have looked delicious, might have been everything you ever wanted, but was just so purely evil that even if he wasn't evil to you, his evilness could affect you, or his evilness could make you vulnerable in a way that isn't good for any of you, not for him, not for you. And I think, I mean, who can change that? Who can fix that? I don't think it's for you to do it. I think you need to lay it to rest, put it to rest, let it go. And maybe that's why. Maybe someone wants to claim that you're just suspicious. Or maybe you have a right to feel suspicious. Oh, I can't get away from this card. Why are you surprised? You could be telling someone, why are you surprised that I know this about you? Or why are you surprised that I did that? Or that I let it go? Why are you surprised that I don't want this? Why are you surprised? And maybe that's the great accomplishment. Stillness speaks. You might not have to say anything. I think it's evident. So you let it go. Hopefully, that's what we were talking about, that last chapter. Okay? Like, that's it. Phoebe does end up with Cupid, by the way. That's a cute way to end it, if anything. Cupid, Venus. I think they called him Coop. That was funny. Cooper, Coop, like Cupid. All right, so let's do this, the clue. So someone knows who they are, someone learned a lot about themselves, or someone could be learning about you, about who you really are. You could be just really understanding yourself at a different level, expressing yourself at a different level, showing up in life, seeing yourself differently, um, expressing yourself, doing things differently than you used to. And whatever that is, it feels like you. It feels good to you. It's like you feel like yourself. Either whatever you're understanding about you, you're loving it. Whatever you're studying about yourself, you're loving it. And this is good. I feel like even if you are in a partnership, okay, this is very essential to have in your partnership. That sense of self-fulfillment, the sense of self-knowing, self-worth, self like who you are. The more fulfilled you are with yourself, Scarlet, this is Aries or Libra energy, okay? In the first house, the house of self-expression. This is the ascendant. This is how people see you, confident, self-loving. We have Colonel Mustard in the library. You could be uh, in a partnership with a Virgo or Pisces individual. Maybe a Virgo or Pars Parses. A Virgo or Pisces may want a relationship with you. Maybe the person that you want to be with is a Virgo or a Pisces. we have also this partnership is going to bring great healing. It's visionary. It has a great, it's very romantic energy. This person's going to be very romantic, but also they're going to have a very good practical sense when it comes to the partnership. They're probably going to be able to ground you in your relationship to them. Someone that you can rely on, depend on, that'll work with you, that'll do their share of the work when it comes to the relationship. They'll also, they'll want to fulfill your dreams. They'll want to create fantasy with you. I think this is a person that might be into like role playing or just enjoy like scenarios in some kind of way, making stories up in a way that it's like fantastical, just for the sense of keeping things fresh and fun. Okay. So Chef White is in the billiard room. So you could be working at home, or if working on something when it comes to your career. You're finding balance between your work, home, what is it? Home life balance, work life balance. You're finding balance in the work life balance. Okay. Well, you're working on maintaining that balance. You're working on maintaining that routine. You're working on keeping one thing, not necessarily keeping them separate, but knowing what, like, you don't bring home to work and you don't bring work to home. Okay? Those two places are different, but if you have to integrate them, it cannot interfere with the other. You see? They have to either work together or stay separate. And then we have a partnership in the conservatory, which is the home. So perhaps this person is really seeing how you can fit in their home and is willing to work with you, or is willing to make those things easier for you, or is willing to adjust to that with you. I'm sorry, I'm shaking the table. um, so that could be why. Uh, or maybe you could be discussing a partnership at home, or maybe there's a relationship at home that you're giving attention to at this time. I feel like you have some very strong values when it comes to how you feel. It's important that people know that your feelings matter to you. It's important that people take your feelings into account, especially when they're very important to you, or when they're intimate. Intimate connections are very sacred. And so your feelings in those intimate relationships have to be expressed. No, yeah, you have to shoot from the hip kind of thing, like it, or maybe you have a tendency to do that, to kind of like just express how you feel very, you know, maybe you just say it how it is. Maybe you just feel what you feel and you express it. But there's something to do with that. Maybe, oh, let's see. Maybe that's communication. Perhaps there was some control of your communication, or limitations about your when you were growing up or something, or in your past. So that might just be very important in this partnership, or maybe that this person feels that about you in some way. okay? That maybe they want to be able to express themselves that way with you, especially when it comes to their feelings. We have Miss Scarlet. Oh, why did I call you Miss Scarlet, ma'am? Miss Peacock. Scarlet's a name. Huh. I don't know. Is there a this is Leo or Aquarius energy? There's someone that was putting on a mask, maybe pretending to be independent, single, an Aquarius or a Leo was pretending to be single. I don't know. That's just what came through when I called her Miss Scarlet. And then she came, and then it's like she just comes over here and she starts doing this, kind of looking a little bit Karenish. I feel like there might be some kind of confrontation. Maybe somebody's confronting you about their person. This could be a karmic ex of this person that might want to have a partnership with you. Maybe she was, maybe she's not as uh, loyal or independent as you. I say loyal because Miss Scarlet is could be a Aries or a Libra. And I know Libras might have a bad reputation. Aries might have a bad reputation, perhaps, when it comes to partnerships. But I think that somebody that truly loves themselves can love you well. And that a person that's all about relationships, at some point, they're going to be really good at being a partner. So at any extreme, depending on where you have to obviously gauge the person you're dealing with, what level are they at in their own development to see if they're capable of being a good partner when it comes to the signs or whatever. But that's irrelevant. I don't even know why I said that. So now remember also that the signs. So if you're an Aquarius or you're a Leo, you don't have to be this character doing this. You could be the independent character. You can be the main, you're the main character, and that could be happening to you. So I don't want anybody to think that, the signs are fixed in a certain way. No, everyone's playing these energies out. You have to determine which of these energies you're playing out, okay? Or are being played out around you. So this you could be also seeing a bigger picture in regards to your environment, okay? But also you could be starting to see uh, what you're attracting in your environment or how people see you in your environment. You could also have a lot of people that love you in your neighborhood. It's like you're like this, I don't want to say the center of attention in your neighborhood, but like either you're well liked or everyone around you kind of like respects you or is there any? Okay, all right. So we have a rope and the pipe, the lead pipe in the dining room. This is a committed love that's connected. The rope is the bond, the commitment, fifth house energies, romantic partnerships, creation, baby making, love making, creativity, fun, joy, pleasure. The lead pipe is the spiritual and physical connection, sixth and 12th house energies. This is saying that this connection is going to be very like, and the rope is eighth house energies. So values and hidden taboo occult things could be what binds you together. You might share resources. Some truth about an ending is coming uh, out, or of a cycle that has been closed. And the truth could be um, enlightening for someone. It's like, wow, I didn't know. Or so it's like, remember, we're activating the third eye. So someone could, maybe activating their third eye at this time, maybe activating their clairvoyance at this time. But when some cycle, when the cycle's fully closed out, that truth is going to be revealed like a flash. It's going to be really clear either what needs to end, or it's going to be very clear that something is finally it's finally done and we can move forward. We have the wrench in the hall. So again, I think yesterday it came through that someone's working on something and it's being hidden. And I think I might have just said an Aries, but it could be a Libra as well. They're adjusting to something, or they're fixing something, or they're creating something behind the scene that no one's aware of. And it's now I guess we can ask why all these things are here, right? So why is the Aries in the study at this time? Aries has been learning about themselves because of a partnership or for a partnership. They have been loving themselves for a partnership. If it's a Libra, they're healing their partnership for themselves. And if you're fully integrating all of your parts, then as you heal yourself, you heal your partnerships, past, present, and future. As you heal yourself, you heal your partnerships, past, present, and future. So it's a constant. Anything that heals within you're healing throughout your past, you're healing in your current energies and the energies to come, so that when they come correct. Miss Peacock in the library. This Virgo or Pisces that wants to be in a relationship with you, they have very star-like qualities. This is Leo energy, okay? They're very charismatic, they're very attractive, they're very charming. So perhaps when we talked about Phoebe and Cole, this person might feel to you like maybe they're a demon because they have all these qualities, these alluring qualities that make you feel, oh my God, what if this is like that? You know what I mean? If Phoebe would have been stuck on the fear of what she experienced with Cole, she would have never been open to receiving the love of Cooper, who also, I mean, she fell madly, like when all it took was for her to look at him. She got a premonition of her life with him. But the fact, I don't remember too much of their story, but I think she was, because he came to her life after a whole lot of experiences. And so she was not going to make the same mistakes. And so he didn't come to her in the same way that most would have come to her, or something like that. He didn't show up in the same way, or she didn't receive him in the same way, so it was confusing. And in that confusion, she's like, why did I get a premonition? But it doesn't look like that's what this is. And I don't think it was very convoluted. I would love to, maybe I'll have to watch that episode again, or that season, because I think it was the last season of Charmed. So cute. She did have her premonition about him. And so she had, her eyes were filled when she saw him. Like, I don't know. Interesting. So there is a lot of balance taking place when it comes to health and routine and um, the home and work environment. Extremely balanced. We got the billiard in the billiard. So it's like a double confirmation that it's like a positive. It's very, the balance is undeniable, I guess you can say at this point, or you feel it that way, whether it's how you feel with yourself, whether it's how you feel in your partnerships, whether it's how you're feeling with the environment. Truly in balance, the flow is smooth. Okay, so we have the dining room in the conservatory with the candlestick. So that relationship that's being talked about, or uh, that you're dealing with in the home, I feel like this could be a lover, someone you very much love. It could be a child. So it's a very personal, very intimate connection. So you're not just discussing a partnership in the home. It could be about actually having a very intimate connection in the home. Now, again, different types of intimacy, different connections. Take it as you will, right? You could be very hyper focused right now on having a really good connection with your children or your child, or you could be very focused on having your romantic partnerships right now, or you can be just having a really good relationship with your home. That is a thing too. There has been places I've lived that have not felt like home. There have been places that I've lived that, you know, has always felt like home. And then there's places such as where I'm at this moment in my life, where I feel like I'm actively, consciously creating my home. And I'm not just creating it it's not out of survival. I'm creating my own environment. I'm creating an environment that is suitable for me and my needs and how I want to live. Not anyone's opinion, not anyone's feedback, not anyone's input, not anyone's influence or energy. My home is going to be the expression of myself, and intentional. And not to say that I wasn't practicing those things in other places, but uh, when you're convoluted with others, or when you're convoluted with influence, or when you're convoluted with survival of any sort, emotional, mental, psychological, physical, you don't have the space to create your environment, to nurture it and love it. So yeah, I'm going really deep into, that this could be just a relationship with you and your environment, a loving, purifying dynamic. It could very well be the environment you're creating for that relationship. Or it can be that this person that you are connected to spiritually. And why do I say that? Because this person, the partnership that they want with you is spiritual and physical. They don't just want one or the other. They want to be able to dream with you. They want to live with you and dream with you. They want to exist with you and dream with you. So whether you're cultivating that in your environment within yourself, or for your partner, you're doing it because it comes from you. It's coming from the I am. It's coming from this. I am doing this. This is what I am. It doesn't, it's like you are, let me just leave it there. Let me just leave it like that. Okay. Dr. Orchid. So we talked about how you value feelings. Dr. Orchid is Cancer energies. Definitely um, a nurturing love, a nurturing connection, or nurturing. And when we say nurturing, what exactly is that? It means very affectionate. It can mean, I mean, it can come across in so many ways. Affectionate, thoughtful, um, healing, considerate. And it can also be motherly in the not so good ways, like it's an authority when it comes to some, you know, I know what I know, the intuition, the feeling. The feminine knows what she feels. So she's gonna say what she feels when she values her emotions the way it shows here. And this could apply to the masculine as well, that's very in tune with his emotions. I ended up with two cards for over here, okay? So, and look at that. The kitchen, in the kitchen, Leo or Aquarius energies. They're getting downloads in their environment. They're getting subconscious connections right now in their space. Or the subconscious stuff is affecting them physically at this time. What what was happening in that hidden realm is now manifesting in their environment somehow. And we said that's the person that was, didn't we say that they were wearing a mask? Yeah, they were, either they were pretending to be single or something like that, or independent, or pretending to be volatile. I mean, whatever their idea of being independent means, if it's negative, it's going to show up as negative. If it's positive, it's going to show up as positive. So whatever it is, they were on some level they were wearing a mask, and it's now showing in their environment. The revolver. So someone's going to shoot their shot when it comes to this relationship, this connection. Very psychically connected, very powerful connection, very spiritual, very real, very, very passionate, a lot of love, a lot of love. So I feel like this person's gonna shoot their shot. They wanna, if this is someone that, like in my previous story, uh, someone you were fond of, but you know, the experience kind of like faded, or like in the movie, that feeling of when you lose a good love or something that was, you know, that you really dreamed of or something that you really wanted, but you don't let it back to you, or you don't let it keep you jaded, and then you like now you know what you know of who you are. You're like open. It's like you'll never miss the opportunity again when it arrives. You'll never miss the opportunity when it arrives. And all you can do is be as ready as you're going to be, right? Be ready for it. Be ready for it. And I think there's a saying about preparedness meets something, something. I don't remember right now. But yeah, it's like being ready for when love comes knocking at your door. And not in a, it's not about being desperate. It's not that, it's that you've done this for yourself, this work for you to, it's like, imagine you make a choice, I'm going to have a child, and you go ahead and you get pregnant. You're every day you're nurturing that belly. Every day you're nurturing that baby. You're making sure that baby's growing healthy and well. And you're planning outside of that pregnancy, you're planning that child's living environment, that child's uh, needs are being met, and all the things that you need for that child to come into this world and be ready. So that's where like you're at with when it comes to this partnership. It's like I'm making everything beautiful for this relationship to that's arriving to arrive with nothing but their love, nothing but themselves, nothing but who they are. You know what I mean? Like receiving the purity of the I am in that other. Again, two cards. So we have the rope and the dining room here. Remember we talked about a completion when something finally gets completed, someone's going to have a true epiphany and understanding, right? Some truth is going to be revealed uh when, or it either has already completed and the truth was revealed, or it's about to be completed and the truth will be revealed. But that truth has to do with this love and this commitment, the commitment and the love. Oh my goodness. Wow. It won't be hidden much longer. The hall and the hall. A lot of synchronicities. You saw that, right? We had the kitchen in the kitchen, the ballroom in the ballroom, and now the hall in the hall. Hall in the hall. Hall in the hall. Okay. So what this thing that's being adjusted or worked on or created behind closed doors is about to be exposed, revealed. Commitment, tying the knot, marriage, union, bond, stuck like Chuck. It's stuck. That's funny. Listen, how if that triggered somebody, then they're not ready for it. That's all. But if you're ready for commitment, you'll be like, tie me up. Oh my God, let me stop. Bye. Yeah, I think I'm done, guys. Do I finish more cards? No, 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 and no. No? Okay, yeah, good. We're good. That's all, folks. Toodles.